but I got to tell you, this is going to be a completely different type of match. Because in this match, he's going to be in with a competitor that kicks, claws, and scratches, hits you in the back of the head, doesn't have a problem choking you, and she's aggressive. And that's not to take anything away from Santana, but this is going to be a completely different battle.
You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
For the World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
We have made it all the way up to episode 10 of the WoW Review. And this one is Leaps versus Kicks. Featured match being Tatevik The Gamer versus Jungle Grrrl. Of course, we got to go into the bonus content. Hi, this is your host, Mr. Green. And we have trucked along for the WoW series, or WoW Season 2 review. After so long in the waiting for people to see this footage, it's finally been released a little bit at a time. Of course, the footage has been repurposed. Originally, this was set to be on television or something like that, you know, something along those lines. They were trying to sell this. That didn't quite work out, so they have decided to release the content digitally, and it is there for your viewing. You go to WOWE.com. You will be able to see each one of these episodes that I have reviewed 1 week at a time. And this will be another one to be added on to that one. And I'm going to say right off the bat, if you were turned off at the beginning of the season of WoW because of some of the other matches, you know, all due respect to those matches, but say like the Lana Star versus Sunshine match, if that for whatever reason turns you off, I'm going to say right now, you should go out of your way. You should watch this one. This one is a fun match. I enjoyed it. Probably, you know, maybe the best representation of WoW Season 2 as of yet. I enjoyed it, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Two things I have to get out of the way before we go to the match. One, of course, is the bonus content, which is episode 19, what is that? Top of the Mountain? No. See, I've lost my title because, you know, they name all of these the bonus contents. No, it is Top of the Mountain. It just didn't seem to make sense. But anyway, Top of the Mountain is the name of the bonus content. That's episode 19 of the bonus content that they have, which is primarily promos and setups and things like that. So we'll talk about that. But just ahead of that is you got to address some of the people that show up on the WoW website, because I know WoW is not going to do it. WoW is never going to, you know, address to their fans, but for some reason, there's a lot of fans on there that constantly ask the same damn question over and over again, and I for the life of me, I don't understand. And okay, look, WoW is not coming to TV. It is not coming to TV. If they do, they will make an announcement on their Facebook page, or they'll make an announcement on their website. They want to go to TV as much as anybody out there that's a fan of theirs wants to see them on television, but they're not going. I mean, that is the entire reason that they're on a digital platform right now. Television wasn't available. I'm sorry, it's not. So for the people that ask week in and week out, where can I see this? What channel is this airing on? I can't find it and stuff like that. It's not on television. Understand, it is not on television. It's on their website. If you're online and you're leaving that message, is that simple. They leave the links up there all the time. They practically tell you every week, go to our website and watch this stuff. So I don't get what it is that you're missing. It is not on television. Go to the website. They are not going to release this on DVD either. That's the other thing. Can I get this on DVD? And then people start suggesting new people. Oh, you should get Michelle McCool to come into WoW, and you should get Mickey James and all. They are not going to get those people. First off, Michelle McCool is retired because I've seen this, and it's usually always retired WWE divas like AJ Lee and Eve Torres, Michelle McCool, Layla, and all these other people. Those women have retired. They are not coming back, and with all due respect, they are especially not going to come back to anything other than the WWE. Mickey James, yes, maybe she would if the money was right because she still wrestles. But she's willing to take that because she does the independent circuit, and she still enjoys what she's doing. Gail Kim, I mean, she might be another one. If the money's right, you put the decimal point behind the right spot on the check, then yeah, she might show up. That's all well, and that's very, very possible. But you have to understand, and I'm not talking to everybody here. I'm just talking to people that don't seem to get it. But you have to understand that WoW was taped in 2012 and 2013. None of this stuff is new. WoW took place a long time ago at this point, man. A lot of things have taken place. You've had people on the WoW roster going, and three of them have been NWA Women's Champions at this time. Three of them. Barbie Hayden, Santana Garrett, Amber O'Neal. All three of them have won a World's Championship since WoW was taped. Jessie Bell has gone up and down the Southeast region, uh, perfecting her craft. You know, Keita Rush has opened up, a Bully Buster program. I mean, I don't think she didn't call it Bully Buster program, but she basically has gone on to take the gimmick into real life. She's trying to bring bully awareness to schools and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff that has gone on. Spike has gone on to wrestle in Japan. As of course, as her actual name is Hudson Envy, and I talked about this last week. I think she's hurt right now, but she has gone on to live her dream wrestling in wrestling strong style in Japan. So these people that you're asking for, they're not coming to WoW. They have other things that they're doing, and it's going to take a lot of money to get, say, a Michelle McCool. I don't even think it'd be even about the money at this point. She is a WWE girl, and I don't think she's going to wrestle for any other place beyond the WWE if she ever steps back into a ring, which I don't think she's ever going to do. She didn't have to do it. She's married to the Undertaker. She is a millionaire at this point. Between the two of them, between the two of their bank accounts, they got enough money where they probably do not need even to worry about, do I need to step back in the ring? No, it's not going to happen. So stop bothering them with that. They're not going to get these people. Two, WoW is not in operation. I mean, it's great that they release all this stuff, but as far as a wrestling entity, they're not in operation right now. And it may change, but as of today, as I record this review, they're not in operation. So, and lastly, the information is right there on those pages that you leave these comments on constantly about where can I see it. It's right there. Just scan around and read. I mean, and you don't even have to scan that much. It's on every post that they put up there. Here's the link to the thing. Go watch it. All right. Now, I just had to get that off my chest because I don't even know how the WoW people take that. I don't work for WoW, and it's annoying to me. All right. Moving on, we got to go to the bonus content. Then we'll jump into the match. Top of the Mountain. I was correct with that title. I had put my notes off to the side, but that's what it is on here. And it introduces the team of the All-American Girls. As some of you may know, that Amber Gallows, formerly Amber O'Neal, and Santana Garrett. What this basically has done is it's shown not the matches, but it shows the footage that WoW has of them, and essentially said, well, these two young ladies have decided, to take their quest for gold into the tag team division. And then they go into talking about, hey, I haven't had a partner as good as this before. We gel really well, and that this is easily, supposed to take place several weeks after both of them have lost their individual matches. Of course, respectively speaking to Jungle Grrrl and who did Tatevik. So this is the next step for them. And I know somebody out there, well, why would they get a title shot? And quite honestly, I thought about it too. It's like, why would they get a title shot immediately after just being, you know, more or less slapped together as a team? WoW has more or less absorbed the credibility of Santana and Amber as wrestlers beyond WoW. One thing I will give WoW some credit for is that they're no longer acting like there is no wrestling world beyond the WoW walls. You go back to 2001, the original season, and I know that's a huge amount of time between season 1 and season 2. But if you go back to that and you go back and watch any of that stuff, they never address wrestling outside of WoW. It's just WoW, and then that's it. Here, they don't do that. They talk about wrestling on the independent circuit and the history some of these people have. So they have more or less taken Amber Gallows and Santana Garrett's wrestling history preceding WoW to give the team some level of credibility. They didn't spend a great deal of time on it, but that's pretty much what they got, and you didn't have to spend a great deal of time on it. And let's be honest, it's not the first time we've seen two wrestlers get put together in a team, and then hey, we're giving you a title match. All right, so that's what's happening here. And within that same video, Cage Heat cuts a promo, of course, in Jailhouse character, talking about how they take on everybody, and that no team is like them. The All American Girls, don't have the same continuity as a team as they do. WoW as a company is passing Cage Heat off as the top team in the land. Like they managed to stay on top of the mountain for so long, which of course is absurd because that there was no teams for them to take on over the last 10 years. In theory, they've held the title for a decade, but that WoW, I've said it on other videos, WoW had been defunct or in hiatus for the better portion of those 10 years. So I don't know what this idea that hey, they've taken on everybody. First off, there's not even a lot of women's tag teams out there, period. Much less inside of WoW for them to take on. But that's how they're passing them off, and it's within their own televised universe, so they can do what they want to do. So that's it. It's a pretty short, succinct promo. It's about 4 minutes, 4:20, I think, 4:21, somewhere in there. And so it's pretty easy to watch, and it gives you the setup for what will be the last video release of season 2. Like I said, there's only one more to go, and that's it. It is a tag team match that will place the All American Girls against Cage Heat. Now, to go back on what I was talking about, like all this stuff took place a long time ago. Now, that tag team did wrestle outside of WoW, and I know I'm jumping outside of WoW review turf here for a second. But that tag team did wrestle outside of WoW for a brief period of time. In fact, I reported on that in the pilot episode of the WPN. And we were talking about them going into Shine, and they wrestled a match on, I believe, Shine 2 or Shine 1. So, and it was the losing team had to separate. They had to break up. So it's kind of funny that they took the history of the All American Girls, and I'm not sure if they went by a very similar name. I don't think they went by fully the All American Girls, but they took that history and they kind of absorbed it into Shine, and they took on the SNS Express, and that was which version of the S? It was 3 members of the SNS Express. Sassy Steffi and Jessie Bell. See, you got another wild girl in there. So you got Sassy Steffi and Jessie Bell, who basically broke up the team of the All American Girls. So there you have it. Now that was just a little side note. No, it was Shine 13. Shine 13. So they lost that, and it broke them up, and so there you go. They had to disband. So all of that to say is that this is very old. That was the whole point of that whole tirade, is that all this footage is very old. That team has been long gone. That was a while ago when all this stuff took place. So team doesn't even exist at this point, and I think that took place in the 2000 and early 2014. So yeah, we're almost 2 years outside of that, outside of the team breaking up. Anyway, now let's go into the top match itself, which is episode 10, Leaps versus Kicks. The Leaps, of course, being Jungle Grrrl, the Kicks being Tatevik the Gamer. They kind of tout her as this kickboxing type. Um, this match, you know, is arguably the best match that they've had. I've said that in large part because of Jungle Grrrl. I think Jungle Grrrl was great. Erica Porter. I think that I think this match shows what she's gained off of her departing WoW originally when WoW closed down and going to the independent circuit. For those that didn't know, she did go to the independent circuit, wrestle for a little bit in the UPW in California. We talked about that in our interview together. And I think this is where that kind of shined through. It wasn't a super fast match, and I'm going to use something that most of you would be familiar with. I'm not going to say that it was a Bayley versus Sasha Banks type speed, but there was no wasted motion here. It was everything that they took away everything that I complained about in those earlier matches where, let's stop and let's talk to the audience for some unknown reason and something silly like that. They didn't do any of this stuff. I mean, it seemed like to me everything had a purpose. It was a faster pace than the norm, which was great. Jungle Grrrl looks amazing. She's in like great physical shape. I know I've said that before, but it bears repeating. And they talked about that in one of the bonus contents that she does her fitness thing, and she is incredibly fit. And it shows that they tried to make this match as about as a even kill contest as they could. I would imagine to kind of keep Tatevik as the new girl on the rise, because they also played it up as the veteran versus the new face, which is essentially what it is. Tatevik's the new girl, and WoW. Jungle Grrrl is the returning vet from 2001 season 1, and they went back and forth at a nice pace. And Jungle Grrrl got to do some big shows of strength in there. At one point in the match, Tatevik applied a triangle chokehold to Jungle Grrrl, which basically isolated one of her arms and put Tatevik's legs around her neck and arm and shoulder. And Jungle Grrrl hoisted her up. She got her up essentially with one arm and slammed her down in what was basically a modified power slam. And she got to illustrate that strength a couple of more times with within the course of the match. It only slowed down once that I can recall. That was when Tatevik did like her signature pose, which is essentially, if you're a video gamer and you've ever seen Street Fighter with Ken or Ryu, they perform their fireball. That's basically her signature pose. She does that little hand gesture, and that was just before she caught like a spin kick to Jungle Grrrl's ribs. So even though it slowed down there, it wasn't like it was out of place, and it didn't feel like, oh man, she's just doing something stupid in the ring, like I said with other people. It kept going. It might have been the editing, but in terms of viewership, I thought it did well. The final sequence of the match was Tatevik going for a Hurricane Rana on Jungle Grrrl. Jungle Grrrl caught her. She jumped up on her shoulders, and Jungle Grrrl basically walked her towards the middle of the ring with her up in powerbomb position, although she wasn't attempting a powerbomb, but it got turned into a powerbomb. Jungle Grrrl turned it into a sit-out powerbomb, like almost like a Batista bomb, and it was a nice execution on it. Which laid Tatevik out almost center of the ring, which set her up, of course, with a big splash. Jungle Girl goes over for that to end it, and that is her move. Very very super fly of her, and she does a picture perfect splash off the top rope. Picture perfect. But Tatevik gets the knees up. And that story being, throughout the course of the match, she had already worked on Jungle Girl's ribs. And that just made it worse because she had caught her in the ribs on the left side once, and then she fired another kick into the right side of her ribs. So she had been kind of nursing the ribs at points of the match. And now she comes off of the top rope and nails herself on top of Tatevik's ribs. Tatevik's knees, and hurts her ribs, excuse me. Which causes her to get up, and she's in pain, and she's staggering around. She's over by the referee. Tatevik gets up and tries to perform a coup de grace. She hits a side kick but misses when Jungle Girl moves out of the way and nails the ref in the head. So she puts the referee down with a side kick, and now Jungle Girl and Tatevik are exchanging the attempt of a German suplex. It's like it's a rear waist locker. They're trying to see who's going to get the move in, and they're countering each other. And then Jungle Girl finally executes the move, and again she does a picture perfect German suplex. She hits it, nails it with the bridge, has Tatevik down, but the referee's out, and she's desperately trying to wake the ref. She's the only free part of her body at this point is her legs, so she's locked into this bridge. She's got Tatevik up in a pin position, her arms around Tatevik's waist, got one leg to maintain the bridge, and she uses the other leg, her right leg, trying to kick into the air and kick the referee, because he's kind of close by, but almost just out of leg reach. So she's kicking over to him while maintaining this bridge to try and wake him up. And I think she just kind of grazes him on the shoulder a couple of times and gets his attention. Meanwhile, another ref is charging in from the back, and he comes sliding into the ring, and he starts this count just as the original referee starts to count. So they both count simultaneously for each girl. And so we have, Tatevik getting counted down, and we have Jungle Girl getting counted down. Now, this is a finish that's been used a couple of times in wrestling, and I will admit I have never understood that. I've never understood the idea that the second referee would come in and immediately decide, I'm going to count for the person who applied the hold in the first place. It just, it never made sense to me. I'm not saying that is wow, because like I said, wow, they didn't create that spot. It's been a spot that's been used a couple of times, but it just never seemed to make sense. Like, why would you come in and count for the person that is applying the hold? I mean, Jungle Girl is the one that's applying it. You should be counting Tatevik down. But the second ref comes in and he starts counting Jungle Girl. The original ref starts counting Tatevik, and they both get the 3 count. So now you got the referees in there saying, hey, Tatevik won. No, Jungle Girl won. Tatevik won. Blah, blah, blah. And the senior referee comes out. David McClain goes into the ring. The senior referee takes both of the raised hands of the girls and he pulls them down, and he's waving it off. Jesse Hernandez, I think, is the senior referee. And he's saying, he gives the message to David McClain, and he's like, fans, this match is a no contest. Both ladies had their shoulders down and this and that. So ultimately, although they never said it in the video, neither woman has been crowned the number 1 contender, because unofficially that's basically what this is about. It's about who's going to be the number 1 contender to go face off against Lana Star. So, but they never went into that. So after the announcement of the no contest, the video ends with the 2 of them faced off in the ring against each other, and they're doing the stare down thing. They're both kind of upset that neither one of them got the win. And then a shoving contest kicks off because Tatevik shoves Jungle Girl, and of course Jungle Girl shoves her back, and they're about to make an exchange in the ring when Jungle Girl latches around on her and catches her in the rear waist lock, which she then turns into 2 German suplexes. She delivers kind of that chaining German suplex thing. She nails her once, doesn't release the hold, picks her back up off the mat, kind of deadlifts her, and then nails her again. And essentially leaves Tatevik laying in the ring. Jungle Girl standing strong. Even though she didn't win the match, she's standing, and Jungle Girl standing, and Tatevik is laid out. The match is approximately, is close to 10 minutes long. I want to say it's about 9:40, between 9:40 and 9:50 in terms of minutes. The full video is 14 minutes long. It's a little over 14 minutes long, actually. But it's about 9 minutes worth of, well, it's about 9:40 worth of match from bell to bell. And again, this is probably the most well done match that they've had so far. I would watch it. I thought it was a fun match. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought Jungle Girl did well. I thought Tatevik, for where she was in her wrestling career, did well. She hasn't really had a lot of matches, period. So when you look at it in terms of that Tatevik, at the point that we're watching her outside of training, she probably had maybe 3 matches at that point. So I'm fairly sure Jungle Girl is in large part responsible for how that match went down and the structure of it, and the pacing that it took and all that good stuff. So if I can find out, if I can get a hold of Erica Porter to ask her, then I definitely will find out, because I certainly want to know. But she did well for that. I know Tatevik has taken the Tatevik the Gamer persona on the road briefly. I mean, the only match that I know of that she has ever posted, and it wasn't even video, but the only match that I've ever seen her post of any sort in terms of pictures is Tatevik the Gamer versus Lana Kai. I'm not sure and that was that independent show, so I'm not sure she's done much beyond that. But she seemed like she had some good aptitude for it, and it's almost a shame that she hadn't continued on, that she didn't really pursue the wrestling thing. She seems like she was relatively good at it, and that she probably could have gotten progressively better and incorporated that kickboxing background that she has into future matches. But ultimately, the match was entertaining, which is everything that they're trying to do. I know it's hard for a while to exist in this world of women's wrestling today, because they don't sit at the top of the food chain as far as that is concerned. You got a lot of independents. So you got the WWE, and you got NXT, which have basically put their women on a pedestal. Well, they've essentially showcased. I mean, just look at WrestleMania 32. That probably was the best match that they had on the card, the 3-way between Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. But I'm not going to get here and start advertising for WWE on a WoW review. So is it. We have got a pretty good match out of this week, and I will reiterate, if you have not seen it, go over to the WoW website and take a look at it. It is worth the time. It is worth the time. It's not boring. If I have to grade it, I will actually grade this as an A. I think for where these women were in their wrestling careers, they did a pretty good job. Keep in mind, Tatevik, probably 3 matches underneath her belt total at this point, and Jungle Grrrl had been laid, on a ring hiatus for over a decade. So she's come back and kind of working out the ring rust. So keeping those things in mind, those ladies did pretty good. Gets an A off of me. So we got one more match to go, and that is supposedly going to be the tag team titles up for grabs. It's going to be the last match of WoW Season 2. It's going to be a championship match, Caged Heat versus the All-American Girls. So want to tune in for that. If you do not tune in for it, then come back to me and I'll review it and we'll talk about it. And I'm thinking about getting a full review. If I can get a guest come on here, if I can get one of the Wild Girls to come back, we can review the entire season about what was good, what was bad, what was indifferent, and all that good stuff. So that is it, folks. And free plug for me, if you are not subscribed or you're not following us, if you're not behind us on Twitter or going to our website, you want to do those things, go to WPN Wrestling www.womensprowrestling.com for our website. Go to Women's Pro Wrestling Network for both our Facebook and our YouTube, and WPN Wrestling for Twitter. Those are the places that you can find us. We got some more matches coming that you want to see, and merchandise, because we got to keep this thing going. We got to keep it going and moving along. How else are we going to be able to get the girls that you want on our show and get original matches done if we don't get some money in there? So we're trying to make this thing happen. So you guys can have some good matches to watch and good matches to talk about. So that's next up on the list. So if you've been supporting us this far, we ask you to continue to support us in any way that you can. The best way to do it is, of course, to continue to watch and rate and follow and subscribe. So that's it. We will see you guys the next review and for the next match. Take care and talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening.